Hello, we are back and ready for episode 4. So as with all of these reactions, there are going to be spoilers for episode 4 of Shadow and Bone. There might potentially be spoilers for the books if I'm making any comparisons. Please do not leave any comments for anything later than episode 4 or hinting at anything from the books. I did have to delete a comment earlier today about somebody making hints about the ends of the books. That is also kind of, in my head, spoiling for later episodes, so don't do that. Let's get into it. So already here I am back at it again with the just complexity, much more so of the Mal-Alina relationship. Like, getting to see him writing his letters to her. I feel like in the show, they, again, don't lean so much into his, like, flirtatious, he didn't see what he had, because one of the reasons in the books I never really dug their relationship, at least in the first couple of books, was that I always felt like it's like, oh, well, he didn't really care about her that way until someone else started paying attention to her, you know? And so, like, I really hate that trope when it comes to, like, love triangles or things like that. This is making it much more obvious that, like, they are really important to each other. He's always been into her. This has been this, like, friends to lovers dynamic. And, like, showing the care where he's, like, he's writing her the letters, he's thinking about her, he's wondering why she's not writing, all this stuff that we just didn't really get to see in the books, again, because we're only having Alina's perspective, and she's maybe perceiving him more as, like, this sort of, like, fuckboy character than he actually was. Okay, wait. So her and General Kerrigan are, the Darkling, are going on a little horse ride, and he tells her to call him Alexander. That is not until book 3. She is not supposed to know. What? I don't know if I like that. I think the importance of him being this figure and him not telling her his actual name until way later is better. I don't like this. No, I don't think I like that. That has not been earned by anybody. He's not supposed to be showing his humanity at this point. Absolutely not. Jesper is like he's just my favorite. I love him. I really liked him in the books, but, like, I love him in the show. Like, he is perfect. He is fantastic. He's giving away the goat, and he makes it a necklace with a bullet on it to remember him. If anything happens to that goat, I swear to God, the "you and I are gonna change the world" scene just happened. I got little butterflies. I love it. It's so interesting to see the juxtaposition between the sweetness of her and Mal's relationship and then just, like, the angsty, like, budding desire of, like, her and the Darkling. It's just good. But I do really dig, so far, the expansion on the world. I know a lot of people say that the series itself is very aesthetic, and I think that is true, but I never really, like, when I was reading it, thought about the world a lot and, like, what it looked like that much. I was more focused on the characters for this series, and seeing, like, the world, seeing the architecture, having her just tell the story of the Black Heretic, like, engraved on a well, all that stuff, it's just much more fleshed out, obviously, because you get to see it more visually, and I'm really appreciating, like, physically being in the world and envisioning it in a way that I just don't when I read things. Kaz dressed up as, like, a sculptor, like an eccentric artist. I'm like, this doesn't seem believable to me, that you are this person. Everyone knows you should be wearing all black, sir. So the scene with the crows stealing the palace plans, I think, I'm hesitant to say this because we're only 4 episodes in, but I am liking the stuff with the crows more than this other stuff. I think mostly not because of anything with the acting or anything like that, but I do think that this kind of story, like the heist criminal story, is just much more interesting and something that I would watch regardless of if it was attached to a franchise that I already enjoyed. So, like, that kind of story, the way that it's shot, all of that, I'm a big fan of, like, the Ocean's movies, and, like, it just gives those vibes, and I enjoy that just much more as, like, a standalone thing than anything else. It's something that I would watch regardless. But that scene just showed again, their skill, Inej being like the Wraith, and the scene when she's like walking behind the guard and he doesn't hear her, just like, again, shows that quality of her being someone who can kind of like disappear. We had that scene a couple episodes, I think it was the last episode, where Jesper was talking to her, he turned around, turned back, and she was gone. So I just really like how they're showing her skill set really well here. And also Jesper as well, all of these sharpshooting things we're getting that throughout all of the episodes, he just shot open like the lock so that she could get out. All of that, again, is super good. So I'm just really liking seeing their characters on screen a lot. Okay, the Nina and Matthias banter and chemistry, top tier. Top tier. Top tier enemies to lovers banter. Sure, we haven't seen like why he would maybe try to help her. I mean, he's convinced himself that it's just because he wants answers or whatever so far, but the back and forth, the spark and the spice that I was hoping to get from her when we saw her last episode, yeah, it's there. Matthias feeding her while she's chained up in a ship, and their faces are really close. That scene has no business being that hot. It just doesn't. The tension, rude. The pining, there's a lot of pining in this episode. But the flashback where she got to see again when she like faked not having powers was really good, again, to show that she's been holding this in, and that means that I think this episode is when we're gonna get the big scene that I hope we get with her like finally embracing her powers, because it's one of my favorites. But also the scene in the middle of the night when she talks to the Darkling and he does this whole thing, which is what makes the Darkling such a compelling villain, is he so believes in his cause and he's like genuinely sad about the Grisha, and like, yes, he obviously is still like searching for power and things like that, but this shows that side of him where he's like, he thinks he's doing what's best for the Grisha and all of that. And then the whole line where she's like, you're not alone anymore, and then he touches her face and like, it's good. This is what I liked about the books, is like they're like calls to like stuff, and the idea of them being two very unique people, just love it. This is gonna be the scene when she lets her power out. I feel like a reaction is warranted, where she's having all the flashbacks to her and Mal. Good, you see me get a little misty, but not exactly like the book. I mean, maybe I picture something way differently than what was even written in the book, but I pictured like a huge sort of like welcoming in of it, you know, just having it a little bit bigger like that. No, I wanted like, again, like a Wanda level explosion. That's what I always pictured in the book. So it still got it, still got the general feels, but I wanted a little more from that, I'll be honest. So it's the end of the episode. I'm super sad for Mal's friends. I like got misty when they died because I was getting really attached to them. I was like just about to say that these additions of side characters that we didn't really have, or at least if we had them, they weren't really super fleshed out, and I don't think we had any of these, but I really liked his little like comedic relief friends, and I really liked the conductor, so if anything happens to him, love that he's like a part of the Crows basically, but Mel's like little friends. And then she just had Genya remove her scar, but she doesn't know that he's like, you're my true north. But like this just adds so much to the story. Again, I keep going back to it, of getting to see what's happening with him, because in the book you're like, yeah, you know, like leave him behind, like whatever, he didn't care about you as much, but now you're seeing like, no, he does. So yeah, I'm very attached to like all of them. But I was surprised about how much I was attached to the side characters. I really was. This was one of the more emotional episodes so far for me, personally. I feel like there was more of those like emotional beats and stuff, so really enjoyed that. So as per usual, comment below, let me know your thoughts on episode 4. Again, thoughts for episode 4 only and nothing beyond that. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.